project, researching the orb will commence. The problem with this is you will need a scientist and has a skill of 3 or higher to get this one done. So once a project is finished, there's 2 things that can happen. Either the hack failed and the orb wants you to leave it alone, or more importantly for this particular chain, it is successful and you can contact the things on the inside. Now you can ask them some questions, you can ask them what is done, what they're here for, where they came from, etc. But more importantly, you can help them out with their goals, which is equating a number, basically. So once that is done, you will go into your event log and you will find yourself with another special project. However, for this one, you will need a scientist of level 5 in order to get it done. And on top of that, you need 1,800 days in order to solve this problem. Yes, that's right, 1,800 days. And let's hope that your scientist doesn't die in that period. At the end of this special project, you will find yourself again with several options. First of all, you can fail, and the Infinity Machine will thank you for your help, but will stay there. Basically, it will give you either AI research or 0-point technology. However, if you have both of them already, it will give you a bonus towards your research, which is a huge deal. However, at this point in the game, if you do have 0-point technologies, then the plus 5% bonus in every single category is not going to be all that useful. However, there's also a chance that you succeed in helping it, and it will say goodbye forever to you, thus jumping itself into the black hole, giving the black hole a modifier of plus 4 in every category. There is also the chance, and this is very rare, that the Infinity Machine, when it throws itself into the black hole, turns the black hole into something a lot smaller, a new universe, so to speak, and the black hole will implode and turn into something new called Pentagruel. Pentagruel is a rather fascinating little object, as it has a lot of really cool aspects to it. It gives you plus 10 bonuses in every single category of research, and on top of that, if you build yourself a science station on top of it, it will give you the Mirror of Knowledge modifier. And this is a huge deal because it gives you plus 10% in every single science category there is. Absolutely huge very early in the game. And that will wrap up the Infinity Machine storyline. I hope you enjoyed this, and be sure to check out some of the other mechanics videos that I've got coming up. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. The way the enigmatic fortress is depicted in Stellaris is that of a riddle wrapped into an enigma. A very interesting little event, and it's by far the more interesting one when it comes to the game. There's not a lot of combat involved, and it's mostly a puzzle. It's very strange like that, as all the other Guardians are very much shoot them until they die. However, the enigmatic fortress is very Newtonian in its setup, as in it is very mechanical, and once you know how to do it, the result will always be the same. Once you encounter it, you will be prompted with an event saying that a strange structure is floating in space, and on top of that, you can now go to your local curator office where you can ask 3 questions: whether or not the fortress can be entered, who built it, or how it is powered, and each one of those costs 1,000 energy. Now, these questions are mostly designed to show you how to do the events within the fortress itself. You don't actually need to spend the energy, because you're watching this video, and once you know how to do it, you can just activate the event and run through it. So, I just spared you 3,000 energy. Now that you know where the fortress is, it's time to disable it and start the event chain. The fortress itself has 50,000 hull points, and the ancillary buildings have a combined 60,000 hull points on top of that. It's loaded out with tier 3 kinetic weapons as well as several enigmatic items, more about that later, which will ignore 20% of your armor and do plus 33% shield damage. Now, it's mostly armor, so I suggest you use medium plasma weapons here, as they will ignore up to 80% of armor. and they can stay out of range of most of the smaller defenders. The Vault itself also has a disruption field that will reduce your fire rate by 20% and as well shield regeneration by 10. About 30k fleet power should do the trick. If you want to be additionally fancy here though, use mega cannons or giga cannons or any other long-range weapon that has 120 range, and you will be able to outrange every single weapon on the fortress itself. Once you have disabled the fortress, you will start the event chain. Of course, you can also decide to not start the event chain, but that would make this entire exercise completely moot. So, first of all, you can choose to enter it. There's two options here. You can send in a demolition team, which is just a standard single army unit that you can get and blow out one of the hatches on the side of the station, or you can set up a power surge. Now, the former will kill the assault team. You will lose it. The secondary will prompt you with two potential events. Either you spend 500 energy to repower some of its systems, or you spend 50 energy to basically do a low power surge on the door. This is a bit of a trick because you will need to do the minus 50 energy option here, or else the station will repower completely and you will end the chain. Both of these options, the minus 50 as well as blowing out the door, are useful here because it will activate the next stage of the event. Don't go for the minus 500 here because it will end everything. Then the explorers will enter the fortress, as you will enter the tower event. As your crew walks through the station, it will come to a large room, and you will be prompted with 4 options. 3 of these are duds and will end the chain. Those are: place the metal rings, search for the Taurus, remove the center from the pedestal. However, if you want to continue on, you will want to rearrange the metal tori, which is the 3rd option in the event. This will continue the chain to the tower rebuild, as this will be followed up by the event called the Pivot. The Pivot will give you 3 options, one of which is an immediate ender on this campaign, which is the Black Hole Research. You will need a researcher that is level 5 and research a black hole. Once you do this, you will be able to finish the campaign and get a bunch of items from it, which is the Enigmatic Encoder, the Enigmatic Decoder, the Enigmatic Disruption Field, the Enigmatic Deflector, Power Generation, and 4,000, 3,200, and 2,000 Research in Engineering, Physics, and Social, respectively. Now, this is fine. You can do this, but sometimes you don't have this researcher, which means that you can pick option number 2, which is using force. Once you do this, you will be prompted with the event Shot Through the Heart. What this does is it will blow up everything in the entire system, losing everything inside of the system, ending the chain, and on top of that, every single planet of which the Enigmatic Fortress system had will be turned into tomb worlds. Now, I have highlighted this with the devs because it's highly exploitable, because sometimes you can end up with planets that have over 25 tiles, and I would not be surprised that in the future this is going to change. So if you're watching this video after 1.5 has been released and all of a sudden you no longer see any tomb worlds, well, they'll probably have patched it out. Finally, you can use our Star Witness, which is the home system research. Once you start doing this, you will only need 1 level researcher, and you can research the star in the center of the system. Once this event chain is done, you will be prompted with 3 options: the beginning, the middle, and the end. Avoid the beginning and avoid the end. These two harken back all the way back to the curators at the start of the episode, where we were talking about what are the clues that we can get. Your goal here is to pick the middle. Once you have done this, you will get 30% research on the Enigmatic Decoder, the Encoder, Disruption Field, the Deflector, Power Generation, and you will get a bunch of research as well. One thing that is important to note here, the enigmatic items are some of the best in the game, but they're also very expensive. Their base research cost is 7,000. Like I said, you only get 30% research off of them. And just to compare, tachyon beams and all the super high-end research points you can get are about 3,880 research points. So you're looking at a double cost almost. However, for instance, the enigmatic deflector is incredibly good. It has the same energy requirements as hyper shields, but are significantly stronger. On top of that, the power generator, the disruption field, and the encoder and the decoder are also incredibly good items. I hope this video was informative, and I hope that you will have fun playing with the Enigmatic Fortress. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other.